capabilities of doing a lot of different reports. The one that's shown on the screen is one that shows the guy as he's at the staging area, looking at the staging monitor, and then he goes, starts heading underground, and then now he's at the top of the elevator, and then he's at the bottom of the elevator, and then he's at the revolving door, and then he goes through the different areas of the mine and does his job, and then the tail end of the thing, it's okay, back to the revolving door, back to the bottom, back to the top, and out to the staging monitor. So it gives you or him the information as far as what he did and when he did. So it's a really good report. The system is an open database. You certainly can use a program like Crystal Reports to write your own reports any way you want to. It's got very flexible, so that if you want to interface it with your payroll, you can do that as well. You need some specialized reports. So it's just a good, flexible system. Another feature of the Matrix system is the fact that in an underground coal mine, there are fireboss areas and infrequently traveled areas and things like that, where somebody has to, once a week or once a month or something, has to go in those areas and inspect them and then come back. And then normally they would use the leaky feeder radio system to say, I'm going in and now I'm coming back. The Matrix system has a feature in it that allows the same fireboss guy to call into the control room and say, okay, I'm going into the fireboss area. Now, what they'll do is they'll hit a button on the software, and a window will pop up, and it will say, okay, it'll ask for a name, and you punch the guy's name in, and then you say, where is he going to? And it says, I'm going into the fireboss area, and how long are you going to be there? And he's going to be there for 45 minutes. Now, that information then gets stored in the Matrix tracking system, and at the end of the 45 minutes, if he's not back on the network, if he hasn't come out some portal somewhere that says, I am back on the network, then it'll sound an alarm, and the control room operator can do a couple things, but certainly you need to go check, find out where this guy's at, because he's late. I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about the 2.1 system. Right now, it is post-accident, it is intrinsically safe, it is wireless. If you can imagine taking one of these hubs and put it in a control room, plugging it into a UPS that will give you 7 minutes of protection, and then that is plugged into a propane generator. Now, what you just set up is a system that can remain on virtually for as long as you can supply propane to it. It works really well. No XP boxes underground, no additional power sources underground. You simply take a propane generator, hook it to a UPS, and hook it to the hub. Then from there, you connect to these ports with your tracking coax and run the coax underground down your primary escapeway. And then you run off this connection to down the secondary escapeways out to your face area, and then join them together at the end. Now, every so often, what you need to do is you need to, every third or fourth set of readers, you need to run a jumper from the reader that's in the primary to the readers in the secondary. That way, if you break a cable, then the system is redundant, so it finds its way out through an alternate route. Those jumpers are very, very important. Once you get your cable run, one down the primary and the second down the secondary, then you install your readers wherever points that your mine plan dictates. They're like mini cell towers underground. It is as you walk into the range of one, and it picks you up and puts you in the server, and then you walk out of the range of that one, but it knows that the last known location was the first one, and then when it gets to the second one, it'll pick you up and move your location from number 1 to number 2, and then it goes on throughout the mine, wherever you go, knowing your last known location. It is post-accident, and what that means is that it's Part 23 MSHA approved. and it is backed up with a generator above surface, so it virtually works for as long as you need it to work after an event. Another feature of the Matrix tracking system is the ability to put tags on mobile pieces of equipment, either track equipment or rubber-tired equipment, as they travel out throughout the mine. You can use this system to give you a visual location of each equipment, and that will help you avoid collisions. It will help you pre-plan the location where two pieces of equipment needed to pass each other on a track. It's just a good system that not only tracks personnel, but it tracks equipment as well. The general consensus in the mining industry is that MSHA is going to require atmospheric monitoring for all mines in the country. They're going to require monitoring for oxygen, methane, CO, temperature, and airflow. So at the end of the day, after they say, okay, you shall have this, what do? Well, Matrix can provide to you a solution. They have wireless and intrinsically safe CO monitors, and what they do is you simply take this thing and you hang it up in the areas where you need to have CO monitoring, and then what it does, it reads the levels of CO, and then it transmits its information from that device back to this very same reader. This very same reader is connected to the very same infrastructure that you've already installed for your tracking system. Okay, let's review what we're doing here, okay? Right now, the Matrix system is MSHA Part 23 approved. It's currently operating in 6 different states. We have over 400 readers protecting nearly 6,000 miners that have the system installed on their hard hats. It's intrinsically safe, it's redundant, it's a really good system. At the end of the day, this system